Okay. Hi, hello everyone. How are you? We will meet on Monday, practice time. So please learn the topic on the video first, and then we can have some discuss on the room on Monday for practice time. Okay. Now I continue to introduce the mechanical properties of the material. Mechanical property is when we do a test of material, what is its performance on the material. That means is a constitutive law. We ever teach you before constitutive law. For example, there is a wood, and there is a straight, it's a steel. So, do you think when we apply the same load, it will have the same strength? And if we apply the same loading, and are there the same strength inside? So that's what we will discuss. Is the same strength or same strength? Should be very important when we are talking about the material property. According to our learning before, stress is related to equilibrium equation, and the strength needs to be related to constitutive equation. So that means when you're only talking about equilibrium, so should be the same stress because only equilibrium. But when you're talking about constitutive load related to deformation, because there is a material property inside, so should be different strength but the same stress. This typical actual stress strain curve for the metal material is elastic, plastic, and strain hardening and fracture. We will look the Tensile Test video first. You may also download from the YouTube, and you will know what kind of material property it should be inside the metal.
The Tensile Test. First test, material with yield point phenomenon. In the first tensile test, a plain carbon steel with yield point phenomenon is to be tested. This is the test piece. It has a cylindrical test region with an original diameter of 10 mm and an original gauge length of 100 mm. Within this test region, distance marks have been drawn at regular intervals. They help to visualize and measure the plastic behavior of the specimen. Using a hand control, the tester moves the upper crosshead into its correct starting position. Now he can place the threaded ends of the test piece in the lower and upper grips of the testing machine.
The placement on the machine to fix. So this is a fixed end.
In the next step, he swings the extensometer into its working position and checks that everything is correctly prepared. Then he selects all necessary testing parameters on the control computer.
And also facility to
ready. The test starts and the extensometer's sensor arms are carefully pressed onto the test piece. This way, the gauge length can be measured throughout the whole tensile test. The gauge length is displayed at the bottom right-hand corner of the screen. At the beginning, it amounts to 100 mm. During the tensile test, the test piece is slowly and constantly elongated with a standardized speed. the force that the test piece opposes to the imposed elongation is recorded and can be seen at the bottom left-hand corner of the computer display.
You may look here.
The material behavior can best be observed in a force elongation diagram. The force F is being plotted upwards on the vertical axis, the elongation delta L towards the right on the horizontal axis. At first, the force rises rapidly. Force and elongation are proportional and form a steep, straight line in the diagram. In this area, the material behaves elastically. If the test piece were to be unloaded from this area, it would spring back completely to its original length. In materials with yield point phenomenon, the end of the elastic area can be seen clearly. The plastic deformation starts abruptly and is accompanied by a sudden drop of force. If the test piece were to be unloaded now, it would not spring back to the original length, but instead show a permanent elongation. In the next stage of the tensile test, an almost constant force level with slight fluctuations occurs. This phenomenon is called the Luders effect.
The plastic deformation is very long.
After a certain strain, known as the Luder strain, the force increases again. The material opposes an increasing force against the imposed elongation. It strain hardens.
Because you need more
Up to the point of maximum force, the test piece is strained uniformly along its length. This means that the test piece gets longer and thinner, but keeps a cylindrical shape.
And you will look
as soon as the maximum force is reached, a neck begins to form at one point of the test piece. All further plastic deformation now only takes place at the neck, and eventually the test piece fractures there.
Near fracture is you can find a necking here. So it's a typical. This is a typical. Yeah, finally it's a fail here. Yeah. Okay, fracture. Yeah. So finally fracture here, and then you can look at necking here. So the full curve is elastic range and plastic deformation, the strain hardening, and then collapse. So we have one step. Step one is elastic deformation, and yielding strength, plastic deformation, and strain hardening, and then fracture. So the typical curve is elastic range and plastic deformation and strain hardening and necking and fracture. Necking and fracture. Okay. Now I will going to tell you the why it is ductile and how it will become ductile. We may look here. Everybody please prepare your pen and write down, follow me. This is a material. When we subject a load, if is a loading, and this is a deformation, and if or you can also say this is a straight, or this is a strain. If the material behavior is look like this, and we will say this is typical ductile material. And if the material, if the behavior is look like this, we use another hand, and maybe look like this, and we will show this is a brittle material. So, what what is a brittle? B-R-I-T-T-L is brittle. No plastic deformation. And sudden fracture. And what is the ductile material? Is with plastic deformation. And fracture up a long period of plastic deformation. That means this is not sudden. It's we will we cannot say this is a kind of sudden fracture. It's a fracture with warning. The warning meaning before fracture, you have a long distance, essentially from here to here. It's a long distance. It's a warning. Warning period. What is warning? Because you will have warning before fracture. You have enough time to escape. If the building has a very big deformation, you can run away before collapse. But for this case, it's a fracture, and it's a very short warning, very short. So you don't have enough time to escape. So that means when the building collapses, if this material is brittle, it's not easy to escape. But if the material is a ductile material like a steel, you have enough time to escape. So, for example, is a steel structure. It looks like this steel structure.